Hi there, I'm Labachi, and I want to speculate with you about the future story of Breath of the Wild 2. Anything could happen in the next installment. Nintendo has certainly thrown us curveballs before, but I have a couple theories as to what the main plot could be centered around in the sequel to one of the best games of this century. But before we do that, let me know in the comments what new items you want to see Link wield in Breath of the Wild 2. Also, if you aren't subbed already, don't forget to sub if you enjoy this video. Anyways, on to the theories. For my first theory, I think it might be a completely new villain, and Ganondorf was just a red herring. I don't see how Nintendo could throw Ganondorf at us for the 19th time in a row. And there's no way it's Ganondorf or Ganon or whatever pulling the strings this time. In the trailer, Ganondorf looks crusty AF. There's no way he could go out looking like that. Instead, I think we are going to get the return of a familiar villain, or a whole new villain completely. My guess for a familiar face would have to be Vati, or Zant, or Vant, or maybe even the return of Aghanim, with him behind the return of Calamity Ganon. And if it's a whole new main villain, then that would be exciting. Someone even more powerful than Ganon? The return of Demise? Hopefully we will also get different original villains for the main dungeons, as opposed to Calamity Ganon 4 times. My next theory is that it will not be solely based in Hyrule. I think we will be able to travel to new lands. My first guess is the Minish Land, seeing as how that wouldn't be too hard to implement. Just shrink Link. This wouldn't be too outlandish either, as Nintendo themselves were planning to include the Minish in the first game. My next guess would be Termina, or a dry version of Outset Island, you know, for the nostalgias. Or it could be a whole new area completely, just not in the Kingdom of Hyrule. It doesn't have to be an entire new map. It could always be one city or a couple of towns. My reasoning for this is because if it does take place exactly after Breath of the Wild 1, then I just don't see how they will change Hyrule enough to make it a new experience for us. Realistically, it wouldn't make sense for the people of Hyrule to have changed Hyrule enough for it to be a different experience. We would be getting more of the same. But then again, when has Nintendo cared about realism? They could always just say f it and make a completely restored Hyrule and explain it away with Sheikah magic. Although I did read an article where Nintendo themselves said we would get to play in a Hyrule before the Calamity. Whatever the case may be, I am excited. The Hyrule we get to play in is so barren. It fits the focus of the wild, but it would be so nice to see it alive again. My next theory is that Ganondorf becomes Link's partner in crime, or should I say, partner in time. Anyways, it isn't too crazy to assume this. Plenty of baddies have joined the hero's side when there was a greater evil to banish. Plus, considering Ganondorf's popularity in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it wouldn't be too crazy of a move for Nintendo to give the big man a spotlight of his own. He could even be a brawler like he is in Smash, or a hybrid mage/tank with his dark magic. Then you could have Link at DPS, throw in Zelda in there and have her be a healer support type, introducing a party system between the 3 unlikely partners. I could even see it as strategic, having to switch out between the 3 of them to accomplish different tasks. And let's say in this game, the common enemy comes in hordes, but nothing too overwhelming like the Warriors games. If nothing else, then I'd at least like to see a game where you see Ganondorf's perspective. Something like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, where you get to play the story mode as either villain or hero. Or have them switch out like GTA, where they are all in the world somewhere doing something. And then, when you need to advance the story, we have to switch out for that character. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm hopeful Nintendo won't just throw the same old game style at us in the sequel. If it's anything Nintendo is good at, it's giving us something familiar with a new twist to it. I don't know, surprise me Nintendo. Next, I would like to see an explanation of the timelines, or a rejoining of the timelines. Maybe Breath of the Wild 1 really does rejoin the timelines, and they will explain it with this game. Considering the Rito and Zora aren't supposed to be living in the same timeline, it only makes sense that this is the era where the timelines reconnect. Although logically, we know that's not how timelines work. Nintendo could just explain it away with more Sheikah magic. Just give me something, Nintendo. You can't keep us waiting for an explanation. Plus, an update to the official canon timeline would give the Zelda theory some clarity. For my last theory, I believe Goku will be a playable character. I mean, we all saw it coming. Just look at Link's hair. That's an obvious reference to the Super Saiyan transformation from Dragon Ball Z. And don't forget, in this one, you have to collect all the Triforce pieces to wish back Navi from the dead.